up? It's Kayleigh. So today's video, it's been a long time coming, is definitely a different one from the usual that you guys are used to seeing. I wanted to show you guys how to do this fuller coverage cut crease look. So because it is very glam, I always start off with a mask first. I'm putting all over my face the Teami Blends Green Tea Detox Mask. So I'll link it below for you guys because I do have a coupon code as well. I use it about like 2 times a week, or really anytime that I know I'm gonna be wearing a lot of makeup and I want my skin to have that nice flawless finish. It keeps my acne away, cleans out the pores, makes my skin look smoother because it is made with matcha tea, bentonite clay, and lemongrass, which helps to really lighten the skin and give it a nice glow. So after about 10 minutes, I rinse it off and I pat my skin dry. If any of you happen to be looking for an anti-aging mask, this also helps with reducing wrinkles and fine lines. It's basically everything you could ever want in a mask, and that's why I love it so much, and it's the only one that I ever use. Click the link, check it out, and also don't forget to use my coupon code so you can save some money. Alright, so moving on with this tutorial, I am now going to moisturize my skin. I've been using the CEO Repair Moisturizer from Sunday Riley because I just got it in my bigger Ipsy box. It's very heavy duty, which I like for my dry skin, but it also is high in vitamin C, so I can hopefully attempt to get rid of some of my dark spots from acne scarring. Picking up the shade Gretchen here from the Too Faced Then vs. Now palette. I am trying this out for the very first time in this video here, and I was actually really impressed, especially with this shade in particular. It seems to me to be like the transitional crease shade that you would use for basically any look created with this palette. So what I'm going to do is just bring this back and forth through the crease all the way from the inner to outer corner, making sure to really blend the edges as I get higher up to that brow bone. Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer, packing that onto a concealer brush on the back of my hand to kind of warm up the concealer a bit so it's easier to apply. And we are cutting the crease here. I honestly don't think I've ever done this in a tutorial before on this channel, and that is because I have felt very uncomfortable with it. It's actually very hard to do. So I completely understand the struggle, guys. I have definitely struggled, and it's hard because I mean, it seems so easy to just put concealer on your eye, but in reality, the placement of it is so important. And for me, what the easiest thing was that I found is making sure to keep opening your eye and looking up at a mirror. You know, make sure you can see that concealer when you're opening your eye. Otherwise, it's too low. So you need to go higher with it so that you can actually see the lid color that you're going to be putting down. And I just work, you know, it takes a long time. Sometimes in tutorials you think that people do it in like 5 seconds, but it takes time to really get it precisely, you know, perfect the line going up into that crease there, and pack it on good so that way your eyeshadows that you put on over top of it look nice and vibrant. Once I got a little bit past the halfway mark of my eyelid, I blended it outwards with my fingertip. Wiped off that same concealer brush and picked up the shade Lost Boys. So in the palette, this looks like a really sparkly green, but as you put it on your eye, I don't know what happens. Like maybe it changes with the heat of my eye, or the more you blend it out, it turns blue. From some angles in real life, in person, it kind of looks green, but honestly, it's pretty blue. I think it is the concealer changing the color, making it brighter, because when I swatch it on my hand, it's green. When I use the concealer, then the swatch, it's blue. Regardless, I am packing that on right on top of the concealer. I first started trying to use it wet, so I picked up the pigment, I sprayed it with MAC Fix Plus and then tried to lay it down that way, and I actually found it worked better dry. I didn't try using my finger with this because I just didn't want to mess up the whole cut crease thing. My finger, stuff gets everywhere when I use my finger. So I just packed it on with the brush, and now we're moving on to I Can't Even, which is a really darker, like plummy kind of burgundy matte shade, which I thought would blend really well in with this blue or green. Very softly blending this into the outer V of the eye and working it inwards to blend into the greenish blue on the lid. Then with my first blending brush that basically has nothing on it, I'm just working this up into the crease towards the inner corner of the eye and making sure everything is nice and blended. putting on more of I Can't Even into that outer V, mainly focusing near the lash line, and then kind of bringing up whatever is left up into the crease with a pointed brush that's more densely packed. Once it's packed on nicely, go ahead and blend out the edges, again up into the crease. And I did pick up a little bit more of Gretchen to help blend this out. I like adding more than one color to the lid. I feel like it helps give it a more 3D effect. So what I'm doing here is packing on Zaza, which is a lighter pink, kind of iridescent purpley shade, right in between the blue and the outer corner. I did notice again with these like glittery shades that they work better dry instead of wetting them. Mixing the two black shades from the palette at the very far end, I applied this close to the lash line and kind of winged it out a bit, feathered it out so I could elongate the eyes and make the look even more dramatic. And lastly, I packed on pixie dust with a very tiny brush into the inner corner. It's basically like a iridescent lighter green. And I wanted it to be even more sparkly, so I decided to add from Pixie Beauty these little fairy lights in this kind of goldish green color as well to the inner corner. Okay, so here I'm just recutting the crease, but instead of using concealer, I'm using a darker shade to kind of give the illusion that my crease is higher. You're just basically creating a shadow there that would have been there if I hadn't have blended so damn much. So that's a thing that you can do if you happen to make a mistake there. So I'm just actually using I Can't Even, which, the smaller brush you use, the darker it's going to look. So I put that on where I wanted it, right where the green meets my crease colors, or the blue, whatever it is. And then I blended that out so it wouldn't be like, just randomly there. So just blended the edges a little bit, but I still want it to be defined. So now I'm using a black eyeliner, pencil liner from Sigma to line the inside rim of my upper lash lines. And then I'm using a liquid pen. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble speaking right now. A liquid pen, to make my wing eyeliner today, guys. This is from Charlotte Tilbury, and I winged it out pretty damn far because I was really going for a dramatic look today. I put my lashes on. These are from Ardell, and they're really nice. The band is just kind of thick, so I definitely feel like I'm wearing lashes, but I was like, screw it, it's worth it. For the face, I primed with CoverGirl's Smoothing Primer. It is oil-free. I am obsessed with it ever since I did that CoverGirl foundation review. Oh my god, it just really makes the skin feel so smooth. Like I have no blemishes, no pores, no roughness on my face whatsoever. It's great. I also use the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow just to give my face even more moisture, since I knew I was going to use a matte foundation. It also gives your skin a little bit of a glow too, which I like. The foundation I'm using is new. It's from Catrice Cosmetics. It's officially called the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It supposedly lasts up to 24 hours. It is really, really, really mattifying, but I guess I don't mind it because I use so many things underneath to make sure that my skin doesn't dry out and to help this not look cakey, because I find with matte foundations they look cakey pretty easy. And another thing is, don't use too much with this foundation because it does have such full coverage. You really don't need to pack it on like I did in the very beginning. I had to wipe some off my finger because I was like, this is way too much. But I just patted that all in with my e.l.f. blending sponge. And I really liked that foundation. I thought it looked nice, especially for a glam full coverage look. Definitely covered everything really well. It felt comfortable to wear. And it actually did last a long time. I didn't test it for like 24 hours or anything, but I didn't have a problem with it wearing off throughout the day. So I will definitely be using that again. And then I used my Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer that I got in my Ipsy bag for this month as a way to brighten the center of the face, under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, chin, cupid's bow, forehead, the usual places. And this is new. This is from Lancôme. I definitely took a risk here using this for the first time because I have had really, really, really bad experiences with setting powders. You know, sometimes they look really dark even though they're white. Like, why? This one I didn't have a problem with. I put it on with a brush just so I wouldn't, because the foundation's matte, right? So if you're gonna pack powder on over the matte foundation, it's gonna start looking cakey. So for me, using a brush is definitely a way to prevent that from happening, because it kind of loosely picks up powder instead of packing it on with a blending sponge, which like overdoes it, if you know what I mean. Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow in light to medium. Working that bronzer around the outer corners of my face to help contour, provide some nice shadow there. Not necessarily to bronze, but just to, you know, provide more definition to the outer corners of my face so everything is not so white from the foundation. Once I finished with that, I decided to go in with blush. I was almost like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do blush because the eyes are so intense, but I was gonna do a lighter lip, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do blush today. I chose to do a light pink one from Tarte, and this is from my Ipsy bag as well. I cannot remember the name of this, so I'm gonna put it down in the description box for you guys. I'll have like a list of all the products that I used. And then I also mixed in a little bit of Benefit Cosmetics Hoola bronzer and kind of worked that on the outer half of the cheeks back towards the hairline. I'm gonna share with you guys a little trick for highlighter. First thing you wanna do is put it all over, like, wherever you want your skin to glow, which for me is like basically everywhere except the lower half of my cheeks. So put that on first, then pick up more and wet it with MAC Fix Plus, and then put it on the spots where you want it to really, really glow, like really, really stand out. That way you have a nice glow all over, but then, you know, certain parts of your face are like, you know, really, really intense. Back to the eyes, I lined my waterline again with the Sigma black pencil, and I also smoked out the lower lash line with Gretchen first. Then I worked through that nice burgundy plummy shade, I Can't Even, closer to the lash line. And then I also used the bluish green. We're gonna call it a bluish green because let's be honest, it definitely doesn't look green. I blended that down on the lower lash line as well, basically over top of that I Can't Even shade, really smoked it out. And then I used the purple. So the lighter purple Saza, I can't say it. I put it basically right where, like right in line with where the purple was on my top lash line. So that way, when I have my eyes open, it looks almost like a stripe down the eye. So make sure you line it up really good so it kind of, you know, makes sense. I also have another trick that I like to do, guys. Before you put your lower lash mascara on, spray your face first. Fix it? Yeah, Lancôme Fix It. So I always cover my bangs and then spray, because if this water gets anywhere near my hairline, my tiny little curls start popping out and all of my hard work of blow drying is completely worthless. So I cover my bangs. Anyway, okay, my trick was to spray the face first, let the setting spray dry on your face, and then go in with mascara, because otherwise if you do your mascara first and then spray, your lower lash mascara is literally going to get all over your under eyes. I've done it millions of times before and I finally figured out how to stop that from happening. So I decided to instead, while I was waiting for the setting spray to set, fill in my lips with two products from Charlotte Tilbury that I recently got and I love. They're just like that light pink kind of shade. Over top I used a Dose of Colors gloss that I just bought from was it Sephora or Ulta? I cannot remember. I think, yeah, Ulta. And I put that on the center of my lips and patted it out with my fingertips. And here you can see me using my lower lash mascara now that everything is dry. And that is the Smashbox Super Fan, one of my faves for like really defining and lengthening the lashes. And then I just went ahead and fixed up my hair, put on a different shirt, and this is the finished makeup look. I don't know if I'm gonna call this Mermaid Eyes or something. All I know is that it is super full coverage. It's very colorful, very glam. You know, it's not your everyday look that I feel like I do all the time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments if you try it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.